Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I try not to say that, but it's becoming unavoidable. I mean, I don't really know how else to say hello to people watching my videos other than, well, you know, if you're new, obviously it's not welcome back, it's just welcome for the first time, but whatever. Somebody come and slap me for being such a slacker, okay? Because I doubt it, but if you've seen, I posted a Flicks with the Chicks haul video the other week, and the haul I got for that Flicks with the Chicks event was because I saw the movie that I'm reviewing today, Top End Wedding. And it's taken me like nearly 2 weeks to sit down and record this, which irritates me because what's the point on going to an advanced screening when you're a reviewer if you don't jump right on camera and review it? Duh. And it's not like I'm embargoed or any of that shit. It's an advanced screening with my cinema. So, there's that. But I'm just so lazy, and admittedly I was working on a game show episode at the time. But I just really wish I'd done that then. I did my written review, but I tend to do my written review immediately, and then I procrastinate about actually getting in front of the camera. Somebody stop me! Not likely to change. I know me. I'm just always a procrastinator. So anyway, I'm excited to be doing this review, which is weird because, yeah, me and Australian movies. But it's really nice lately to be able to watch a film or a product come out of your own country and to see it be really good and it not to be offensive, like something else I'm reviewing. And as that, I'm like the least patriotic person you will meet. But having said that, you do feel a sense of pride when you see these things and just like, that came from my country. You know what? My people made that. Well, kind of, not really. Anyway. But anyway, so there's a good feeling, and it's not a feeling I have too much when it comes to Australian films, so I'm really happy about this one. So, enough of that, let us begin. Top End Wedding is a 2019 Australian romantic comedy film directed by Wayne Blair and written by Miranda Tapsell and Joshua Tyler. The film follows Lauren and Ned, who have just 10 days to find Lauren's mother, who has gone AWOL somewhere in the remote far north of Australia, reunite her parents and pull off their dream wedding. As I have said many times, myself and Australian films over the last decade haven't been the best of friends. By that I mean I was tired of most of what was coming my way being films that made fun of Australia and promoted stereotypes instead of celebrating Australia. Then I see Top End Wedding selected for April's Flicks with the Chicks event at my cinema. It has been good to see these events promote Australian cinema as well as Australian products in their gift bags. It is giving good Australian films a chance to get noticed when they otherwise might not. I've had a great deal of luck when it comes to the films selected for these events, as I've tended to love almost all of them, so I had high hopes for this one. I'm very proud, there's that word again, to say I was not let down. Top End Wedding is a delightful Australian rom-com that embraces and celebrates Australian culture, avoids stereotypes, showcases inclusivity and diversity, and does it all in a completely organic way. Nothing is placed on the screen or in the story to be on trend or get pop culture credit. Best of all, the film makes Aboriginal culture and traditions shine in a way that reminds me we might not be the cultural wasteland I thought we were. This film proudly and organically features gay and drag characters not to be the punchline, not to be a stereotype, but because that's how it should be. Gay people are not an abnormality, so to finally see a film have them included and just being present and being themselves and not for an ulterior motive makes me feel like we're going in the right direction. I think it was great, especially to have characters represent the Aboriginal LGBT+ community, which is not as celebrated or welcomed as they should be. While this inclusion reaction was minimal as it was not the central focus or point of the story. Just seeing it there made me extremely happy. The events of the film unfold to the stunning backdrops of the Northern Territory and Tiwi Islands, which I must shamefully admit I didn't even know existed until watching this film. Ooh. Every step of our character's journey takes place while Australian natural beauty gets to stand out proudly. Most people outside of the country are familiar with our city attractions and the outback, but not many realise how much natural beauty there is to be found in Australia, such as Katherine Gorge, which was beautifully shot in this film. This film has a straightforward enough story to follow and some pretty likable characters. We have characters who are supportive of each other and understanding, and we see them all interact without animosity. Some rom-coms try to create a villain for someone to defeat or win over during the events of the film. Closest this film comes to a villain is the character of Lauren's boss, played by Kerry Fox, but her villain status is short-lived as we see she admires and respects Lauren and wants her to be happy and actively tries to make this happen, while along the way revealing how she missed her chance at love and doesn't want that for Lauren. Lauren, played by Miranda Tapsell, and fiance Ned, played by Gwilym Lee, are your basic modern day couple. They are trying to have a dream wedding while juggling busy lives and at the same time trying to figure out what they want from life and in turn a marriage. They have some hiccups along the way, but it is all part of the learning curve. Both actors gave terrific performances and had great chemistry. Their characters were so beautiful together that as the film goes on, you root for them for the simple reason that it's such a relief seeing nice, happy people being nice, happy people for a change. There are a great many messages and themes in this film, following your heart and following your path and not what you think is expected of you, the give and take and trust that comes from committing to spending your life with someone, culture and traditions and the beauty and strength that comes from embracing them, and the repercussions for ignoring them and not passing them on to the next generation. The next generation is how traditions stay alive. If you don't share them, eventually they will die. So it is essential for people who come from strong cultural backgrounds, such as being Aboriginal, to nurture them and pass them down. There is also the message about respecting your family and where you come from, and that it's never too late to do so. While I have to admit, during the film it felt as though there were too many themes going on at once, and I think they could have limited to just a couple, it still ended up being an enjoyable film. I found it full of positivity and was moved to tears on more than one occasion. The humor in this film was light and comforting and felt just right, unlike some rom-coms these days where they push things too far and think they have to go over the top to land the jokes. This film did not fall into that trap, and to top it off, managed to do this without depicting a single Australian cliche or stereotype. This film was able to be clever and full of heart, and it did so with pride. I was undoubtedly proud as an Australian viewer to have witnessed this. I'm thrilled I had the chance to see this, and I was surprised and delighted with everything I witnessed, and it's safe to say I wasn't the only one. The audience during my screening was full of smiles and giggles, while a few mature women were in utter hysterics. I'm not sure if they found it that hilarious or if they'd been hitting the plonk, but at least it's safe to say they were having a good time. This film is what Australian cinema needs, and it stands out as one of the better rom-coms of the year so far. Oh, this has been a struggle. I'm so lucky I got through this. My battery died while I was in the middle, but I managed to plug it in just in time. I didn't lose anything. Woohoo! Oh, that was nerve-wracking. That's your camera saying battery is dying while you're recording a review is worse than when you're on your phone and your phone says 1%. I'm telling, I don't know if you've experienced this, but for me, that one was worse. Whew. But anyway, back to the movie at hand. Yeah, loved it. I really didn't think that I would, but it had a few good comedic moments. I mean, it is a rom-com, but also it had, I don't know, sometimes you watch Australian films and, you know, people are in Australian films are watching Australian films or Australian television, and I'm just like, come on, we're no different to everyone else. We love big blockbusters, we watch things that are popular, and so there is one scene where the fiance and the dad are sitting down there watching Die Hard, and I got so excited, I'm like, yeah, watching Die Hard. It was actually a really it was a really good scene, because I mean, it's Die Hard. Who doesn't love Die Hard? So I'm just like, yeah, that looks about right. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. People just gonna be at some point watching Die Hard, alright? So yeah, I loved it. I asked myself beforehand, I'm like, oh my god, please don't tell me this was directed by a white man. Please tell me the person who wrote this is Aboriginal. And then I checked and I realized he is, and I'm like, whew, thank God. So you can tell that there's not just someone who's like, hi, I'm white and I'm trying to introduce culture. And it's like, you mean the culture that already existed until white people came and ruined it? Oh yeah, I went there. But no, it's an Aboriginal person. He's really just celebrating being Australian and his heritage and his culture, and I think that's beautiful. And I especially love, I don't know if he's part of the LGBT community, not really any of my business, but I think it was great that he actually, even if it's minimal, the fact that he spoke on behalf of the Aboriginal LGBT plus community and just give them a little bit in this film, because I have seen way too many times when people are, when we were trying to vote for marriage equality here in Australia, and you would see there was a special group of people, and it was Aborigines who were fighting for those rights, and it was a little harder for them than it was for people. It's not easy for anybody being part of that community, but these people were especially being shunned by their people of their own ethnicity, their own culture was turning their backs on them. You know, like somehow being gay or lesbian or transgender means you're no longer Aboriginal, and I've seen that happen to a friend of mine who is Aboriginal, and it's heartbreaking. So, and I don't think, I mean, guaranteed I don't watch that much Australian stuff, but what I have seen, I haven't seen any Aboriginal LGBT representation. So to see that, I'm like, wow, way to go you, like that was awesome. And we need more of it. So I'm hoping that this is a really nice stepping stone. It was such a good film. So I don't know if it's going to get released in the US, but if it is, please go see it and support it, because it has some messages, speak English actually, that are really important and really need to be encouraged in Australian cinema. So that would be great. So if you've seen it, comment down below. If you haven't seen it, I don't know, still comment down below. Talk about this video. Talk about an Australian film. You're like, there you go, there's something. Comment down below and tell me what your favourite Australian film is, if you have one. Mine is Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So that is it for today's video, and I'm gonna get out of here because I have to go write another review or do something. I don't know. Anyway, so thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.